All right, welcome, folks. It's now 12 p.m. in Waterloo, Ontario, and thank you for joining us for our informational webinar about the Master of Environment and Business in the Faculty of Environment at the University of Waterloo. My name is Christina Pope. I'm the Graduate Studies Marketing and Recruitment Specialist and your host for today's session. I'm joined today by faculty, staff, and students who will share their knowledge and experience about the Master of Environment and Business, which we refer to as the MEB. There will be information on the program structure, alumni outcomes, student experience, and admissions requirements. We'll end the webinar with a Q&A session with questions from you, our audience. A couple of important housekeeping items before we proceed. This webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be distributed by email to all registrants about 24 hours after the webinar concludes. This email will also include any important links to web pages that we talk about today. For the Q&A segment, as an attendee at this webinar, you can't unmute your mic or share your screen, but we encourage you to ask questions by using the Q&A box. You can also upvote other people's questions that you would like answered. We may not get to every question, and we will be prioritizing questions we feel benefit the broadest audience. If your question is not answered during the webinar, we will be saving the chat history and can follow up with anyone that we may have missed. Our first presenter today is Dr. Kamal Habib, who is the director of the MEB program and whose research focuses on resource dependency of clean energy technologies under current and future framework conditions, with a focus on critical resources such as rare earth elements. We are also joined today by Jennifer Nicholson, who's the administrative manager of the School of Environment, Enterprise, and Development, and she will be your main point of contact while we fill the role of the MEB program administrator, which was held for several years by Jennifer Doucette. Jennifer Doucette has accepted a new role within the Faculty of Environment. We're very happy for her, and she's joining us today in the background in case we need her knowledge and expertise. We are also joined today by a current MEB student, Mohammed Fasih Sarwar, who will talk about his experience in the program so far. And to begin, the University of Waterloo acknowledges that much of our work takes place on the traditional territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. Our main campus is situated on the Haldimand Tract, the land granted to the Six Nations that includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. Our active work towards reconciliation takes place across our campuses through research, learning, teaching, and community building, and is coordinated within the Office of Indigenous Relations. The University of Waterloo was the first university in Canada to offer Indigenous application fee waivers, which are available to incoming and current students who are members of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation or Six Nations of the Grand River. And with that, I will hand it over to Kamal.
Thank you, Christina, for very kind introductions. So the Masters of Environment and Business program is delivered through the School of Environment, Enterprise and Development, and SEED is housed within the Faculty of Environment at the University of Waterloo. University of Waterloo is in the region of Waterloo, which is only an hour away from Toronto. The region of Waterloo is a mid-sized community. Roughly more than 650,000 people are inhabitants of the region. As I mentioned, it's only 100 kilometers away from Toronto and London, so Toronto Airport is very close by. University of Waterloo is housed to 41,000 students, out of which 14% are our grad students, and remaining 86% are the undergrad students. So the Faculty of Environment was established in 1969, and in fact, this is the oldest Faculty of Environment in Canada. The Faculty of Environment and the School of Environment, Enterprise and Development both are very much solution focused when it comes to the environment and sustainability. The building you see, the picture you see of a building in the right side of the slide is a green building. That is where my office is, and the staff that are joining today also. It's a LEED Platinum certified building. So when we say that we are offering the Master of Environment and Business program, we know environment and business. We have been offering the Bachelor of Environment and Business program since 2001, and our Master of Environment and Business program started in 2010. Both of these programs are the oldest programs in Canada that are integrating environment and business. We do cover both international and Canadian perspective in our programs. And the seed faculty that are delivering a number of courses within these programs are sustainability, business scholars, and the practicing professionals. So, a little snapshot of our current and like the existing profile of MEB program. So, at this point, we do have roughly more than 60 students. If we are considering this year and the previous 2 years, because the program can be completed between anywhere between 1 year and 3 years. Um, the students we do have in our profile, in our cohort at this point, do come from various professional backgrounds. Some of them have already been working as sustainability professionals. Some of them have law as their background. Some are teachers at the college and school level. Some do come from administration, waste management, NGO sectors. And same as the professional careers and the professional backgrounds, the educational background of our cohort is also very diverse. Our students come with a bachelor degree in business administration. They do come with commerce knowledge and technology, science, arts, engineering. More and more, we do see people coming with the management science experience as well into this degree program. So, if you ask me about the geographic location of our students in the current cohort, more than 90% of our students come from, they are domestic, so they come from Canada. It's becoming less and less that we are getting international students. So, currently, I believe roughly around 10% of our students are with international background. So, the mission of our Master of Environment and Business program is to equip working professionals with the knowledge, tools, and expertise to integrate environment with business. We know that all of you come with diverse backgrounds, as I just mentioned, coming from your professional experience as well as the knowledge background. But what we strive to is to provide you and equip you with the knowledge and with the skill set that will enable you to efficiently and effectively integrate environment and sustainability with your business portfolios. So, here are a few highlights of the Master of Environment and Business. It's for those who want to lead and impact the sustainable development within your organizations. It equips you with the fundamentally, it equips you with the skill set to fundamentally integrate environment and business. It can be done between 1 to 3 years. So, 3 years is our part time program, 2 years is also our partially part-time program, 1 year is the full-time program. In all these 1 to 3 years, you have to do 10 courses plus 2 milestones. And then through this journey, you do join the network of sustainability leaders in Canada and globally as well. So now I will start going through our program structure for all the three options of 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year. So this is our very common, actually the most common route. Majority of our students do complete the program in 3 years. So what happens is that at University of Waterloo, we do have 3 terms. So one is fall term, which is September to December. Winter term is from January to April. And we do have a spring term, which is from May to August. During the first year in this 3 years program, the students do start the program with a 2 weeks on-campus residency, which is business and the case for sustainability. Then in fall, you take a course which is Introduction to Sustainability for Business. The code is NBUS 602. In the winter term, the course is Environmental Finance, and in spring, you do Enterprise Marketing and Social Accountability. In the second year for the fall, once again, there is one course, Business Operations and Sustainability, and I happen to teach that course. It's NBUS 620. In the winter of second year, you do take Strategy for Sustainable Enterprise. Excuse me. And in the spring, there is elective one option, and we do provide that the diverse options on campus that you could take as an elective 1 and 2. And year 3 starts with elective 2 in the fall term. In winter term, you do the final project, which is the capstone project, and spring Also, you continue with that final project at 690A and 690B, led by Professor Dan Murray, and you will see him later on the slides. And when the program is compressed into 1 year for the full-time students, then you can see that you have to complete the program now in 1 year instead of 3 years. So each term has now through 2 to 3 courses that you need to take. So in August, you once again start with the residency on campus. It's a 2 weeks residency. We are going into 1 week starting in 2026. The course code is NBAS 601, and the title is Business and Case for Sustainability. In fall, you take the 3 courses: Introduction to Sustainability for Business, Business Operations and Sustainability, and 1 elective. Then in winter, once again, there are 3 courses: Environmental Finance, Strategy for Sustainable Enterprise, and Final Project. In spring, which is the last term for this year 1, is Enterprise Marketing and Social Accountability, or first elective, and the final project, which is the capstone project that you continue. So the milestone requirements are that apart from taking those 10 courses, you do have to complete 2 milestones. Milestones are very important in the sense that they provide opportunities to connect with other MEP students and alumni. You get an opportunity to learn the cutting edge research and the knowledge that is happening within the domain and the field of business and environment and the sustainability part. You also participate in the events and the networks and the conferences. So a few examples of the conferences that our students in the past have been attending: for example, the Globe Conference that happens every other year in Vancouver. Then we do have seed events like in Waterloo or Toronto that are aimed at getting our graduate students community to present and share their research and their knowledge with their peers. And there are so many other conferences and events that happen throughout the year, both online and in person. And sometimes we are sharing the news of those events, and sometimes our students are bringing up those conferences and sharing the news with the community. Once you attend those 2 conferences or events or the seminars, there is a requirement that you make a post, a discussion post, and it's like a reflection post, that what you have learned from that event, and you share it with the MEP community. We do use a program which is called Learn, and that is where you share your reflection, and then your peers as well as alum could see that what you have learned. It's a great opportunity for everybody to just engaged in these communities, in these networks, in these discussions, as well as to know that what's happening, what's latest, what's most recent within the field. Now I will introduce our current student, Muhammad Fasih Sarwar, who has an exceptional professional experience coming from IT industry, and he is our MEB student. And I am extremely delighted to have you with us, Muhammad, today. So over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Habib. Really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Great to be meeting with you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So a little bit about myself. I joined MEB in fall of last year, 2024. And I'm based out of Ottawa. Academic, from academic perspective, before coming to MEB, I have a bachelor's in mathematics and computer science from Rutgers University in the US, and an MBA from University of Ottawa. My professional career has been mostly in the information technology industry. Most of my time has been spent at IBM, and last maybe 10, 14 years has been in a role where I've been managing to develop strategic alliances between companies who are interested in building business together in a strategic manner, and targeting their mutual customers to develop business in that manner. I joined MEB for my reasons were twofold. The first reason was the fact that at my employer and as well as looking at the various stakeholders in the industry, I was seeing a lot of interest in sustainability. And I started reaching out to folks who were interested working in sustainability related initiatives and try to understand what was happening, what are the areas that they work in. And that kind of increased my insight or interest in to learn more structurally about sustainability. And I started reaching out to see what program would be suitable for me. But the second piece of my reason of joining MEB is also very important is the fact that as I learned about sustainability and sustainable development, I found out that it sits on three pillars, three very important pillars: the environmental aspect, the social aspect, and the economic aspect. And what was interesting was that it has for a company to have a proper sustainable strategy and an initiative, these three aspects have to intersect very effectively. Without one, the whole process doesn't work. And like I mentioned, my background is information technology and coming from corporate world. Social aspect was really, really interesting to me because I was not very, I had not been involved in that aspect in my career, and as well as the environment, I would say. So that was very, very interesting, and I reached out and tried to, obviously submitted my application, and I'm very happy to be part of the program. So those were the reasons why I joined MEB. Now, sharing with you the learnings from the MEB program, as well as a few things that I looked at before joining the program, which I hope you find valuable. First is when I was joining the MEB program and an online program, I was a little bit concerned that what would be the relation or connection between the students and the faculty. And I tell you it, I'm really, really happy the way it has turned out. The professors have their office hours, and then you can set meetings with them. And in my meetings, I talk to professors about the assignments, the coursework, and I also talk about how to use the information and the learning for in future for work, and get guidance from them. It's been really, really fantastic. Um, you may have seen, and Dr. Beeb also mentioned the coursework, the 10 courses and the conference credits. What I would like to share in terms of the learning, I think one thing which is very prominent for me in terms of the learning and the MEP program is the awareness creation about sustainability in a business. It's a little bit shocking, but the fact of the matter is it's a gap today in the business world. Companies don't know where to start from, how to develop sustainability strategy, and how to execute it. So that awareness creation aspect was right off the bat. MEB helped me understand that, and every other course helps with that. Um, Also, the creation of sustainability strategy. What are the components of it? Does it take to create a viable sustainability strategy, and then how to execute and how to make it integrated within the organization? In addition, the marketing aspect and the operations aspect related to sustainability, which are really, really critical, and they work well if the whole company is integrated and works together towards these goals and these areas. And then the reporting, sustainability reporting, how to understand various frameworks and standards at the international level and how to inform from those standards and set up your sustainability reporting, and then how to evaluate various sustainability reports from various organizations. And then the intersection between business management, policy, and climate change, how to look at them together and then use them and evaluate them for the benefit of the sustainability trajectory of your company. Um, like Dr. Habib just mentioned, the electives are, I think the program gives very good options for electives. And I've also seen that students who find other courses that they think are a better fit for them in terms of their plans as an elective, they are typically allowed with proper reasons given. They are allowed to sign up for those courses, elective courses. Um, in the program, I've had a great opportunity to meet with the leaders in various sectors, in various organizations who are doing a lot of great work around sustainability. And it's great to learn from them in terms of what were the challenges, how they came across those challenges, and where they are today. The other aspect of the program is obviously connection with the alumni. I have learned tremendously from the alumni, from there within Canada, outside of Canada, and doing tremendous work. And it gives you a lot of guidance in terms of how you want to use this learning towards your future professional goals. And then the cohort that I think you will realize that the diversity is phenomenal from geographic perspective, from academic perspective, professional perspective. And not only you see that diversity when you're meeting with them in person, but you also see that coming up in the projects that you do together. And you know, that diversity brings a lot of learning. For instance, for me, learning about mining industry, learning about EV industry, or countries where there is the type of energy that's being used, renewable energy, how they're doing it. These have been really phenomenal pieces of information that my cohort members helped me get those. Um, I also had a chance to attend a few conferences, seminars, and I tell you this just like this last June, I was in Waterloo to attend a seminar where capstone students were doing their presentation. Obviously, these students are ahead of me in terms of the completion of the MBA program, but just being there and learning from them how they thought about their projects, the work they did and the learnings that they got out of it was just tremendous. Um, I mentioned about the social aspect in my interest in joining MEB program. I can tell you the information and learning about Indigenous communities and the challenges they are facing with regards to related to environmental degradation, climate risks. It's been just very, very valuable new information for me. And this is something I'm taking with me to the next level. And I'm already trying to build connections in this regard. And I want to keep working in this area. And at the end, I would like to leave you with a takeaway. And the takeaway is that when you approach and you are part of MEB, approach it with a passion of learning. Why do I say that? Because if you complete the program, yes, you'll have a graduate degree, and yes, this is professional growth. But for you to really take ultimate value from the program is to absorb the information that is in front of you. And the program does a fantastic job to put a lot of information in front of you. And if you're enjoying it with a passion to learn, it'll this information is not going to come to you back again. So this is the opportunity to take it, value it. And in my case, I've noticed that, don't worry about the grades too much, because if you are learning with passion, grades will come. So I hope it was valuable to you. So thank you so much.
Extremely valuable takeaway. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. And your feedback actually helps us as a team to update and revise our program and courses all the time. And yeah, that's very nice. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
So, one of the key themes within the Master of Environment and Business is the applied nature, the way all the skills and concepts and knowledge you get through this program and how you apply it into the real world issues and the problems to solve them. So, for example, at the core, you see that you get an opportunity to learn a broad range of topics through the 10 courses that are offered through this program, plus the two milestones. Also, the two residencies you get to join through this program, one at the beginning and one at the end of the program, gives you an opportunity not only to meet with your peers in person, but also to learn about different experiences from the faculty and all the guest speakers who come to talk at those residencies. Apart from that, you do have the direct access to leading practitioners within the field. You do work closely not only with the faculty but also with your peers. You do have applied nature of course assignments, and every course is built so different in this sense that you do start with learning some of the basic concepts, and then through some advanced concepts, methods, and the tools and the skill set you require to apply whatever you have learned in as a skill set to the real world problems. Then, as a great example of that is the capstone project that you do at the end of the program, where all the learnings through the program, through all the 10 courses and the electives, you do apply into your capstone project, which is a real world project. Then attendance at the key conferences, seminars, events is another add-on through the two milestones that you get to see what is the cutting edge knowledge at this point, what is happening within the field, what are the new tools, what is the new knowledge, what are the new concepts that you need to be aware of in order to excel within your professional profiles. So here we do have three pictures taken from our residency program in August. We call it MEB in Action, and this is actually how it happens. You can see some of our faculty sitting in between our students and having some lively discussions and some working together. Um, the clicks are actually a representation of how much joy it is to be part of those residencies on campus. So we have done a few surveys in the past to see that how the Master of Environment and Business has impacted and how much value it has added to our students' existing knowledge and the professional experience. When we have asked them a few questions regarding sustainability, business, and their intersection, before joining the program, 13% of the applicants were aware of this intersection, but after the program, 96% do have the and a positive feedback regarding their knowledge and their understanding of how sustainability intersects with the business. Same you can see with other questions like forces and influences that shape and frame sustainability problems. The prior knowledge was only 13% students, but after the program, 92% say that yes, they have learned and now they have a broader understanding of what the issues are and what should be the skill set and the knowledge base required to solve those issues. Then the tools and strategies to advance sustainability, there the rate is from 8 to 79%. Applying those tools and strategies to advance sustainability, 0% of our incoming students do have this kind of skill set. And after the program, at least a third of our students, like 75%, do have the knowledge of how to apply those tools and skills to advance sustainability within their businesses and the work environments. And lastly, communication and leadership skills, those are very important criteria. So some of our incoming students do have that leadership experience already. They are mid-career or like late in their career professionals. They have been up the ladder. Some are at the managerial positions already. But after the program, 83% do have to say that, oh, they got those skills that can provide them with the knowledge, skill set, tool set to enhance their communication and the leadership skills, and move up the ladder even more. So that has been the feedback so far in a nutshell. If we check the alumni employment before and after the program, so um, before joining the program, roughly 40% of our students do have some knowledge of sustainability and some sort of sustainability profile work-wise, whereas after the program, 92% of our students who complete the degree program do move on to the sustainability related professions and the careers. So then the employment afterwards is very strongly related to sustainability integration within their businesses. And although the data regarding the salaries is old, we haven't been able to update this, but you can see a clear difference in terms of the average salaries before and after. There has been quite a difference between the before salary range and once the program is complete and the students do have the opportunity to integrate sustainability within their business profiles and the professions and the work environment, the salary also jumps significantly. Let me introduce to you the faculty, the core faculty and the staff who are running the Master of Environmental Business program. In the middle upper row, you can see myself. I'm currently the MEB director, and I also teach a course which is NBUS 620, Operations and Sustainability. Then on my left-hand side are two senior professors, Professor Stephen Young, who does teach NBUS 652, which is Business and Climate Change course. Then we do have Professor Amelia Clark, who is the founding director of MEB program. She teaches actually two courses, NBUS 602, which is Intro to Sustainability in Business, and then later on Sustainability Strategy. Then on my right-hand side, you can see Professor Sean Goby, who teaches social entrepreneurship and innovation. Then we do have Professor Dan Murray, who runs the capstone project 690A and 690B, which is Enterprise Sustainability Project. In the lower half of the slide, you can see we can start with the left side, Professor Jeff Wilson, who is currently the director of School of Environment, Enterprise, and Development. He also does the introductory course within our MEB program, which is NBUS 601. That is a residency course, 2 weeks residency course, which is going to be 1 week moving forward. Then we do have Professor Julie Bernard, who teaches stakeholder engagement. We do have Professor Zach. I don't want to try to pronounce his last name. He teaches environmental finance. And then we do have Jennifer Nicholson, who is the administrative manager of SEED. Here I wanted to explain to you the program we use to deliver our courses. It's called Learn. So this is the landing page for me. You can see when I log into my Learn, this is how I see my landing page. So in fall, I am teaching 3 courses, NBUS 204, then the SASM 620 and NBUS 620. Both of those courses are same, but are offered to different programs. So this is my landing page. That is how I see the courses, and you will see the same page depending on how many courses you have been enrolled to. So if I click one of the courses that I'm teaching at this point, for example, NBUS 620, this is the page for business operations and sustainability. You can see the announcements. And I just, as of this morning, I made the week 12 announcement as we are getting to an end of our end of the term. So this is the last week of teaching for us. But this is the page where you see all the announcements coming from your instructors, as well as you see on the top bar all the icons where you can access the content, course schedule, If you have to submit any assignments or you have to participate in the discussion boards, these are all the things that you can do through the Learn course homepage. And then you see that bell icon at the top that provides you with the notifications if you have missed any announcement or anything that has been shared or announced by the professor. So this is how you will see your course schedules here. Once again, I'm showing the schedule for NBUS 620, and you see that all of our courses within the MEB program are designed asynchronous, and they are adopting a weekly structure. So you see the week by week, not only the course, the weekly topic, but also what are the activities you will be involved during that week, what are the resources available for that week, and what are some of the deadlines in order to submit activities and assignments for that week. So this kind of layout actually provides a very clear overview of activities and assignments during the course for each week. Our courses are developed keeping in mind mix of mediums to deliver the content. Some of the courses do have the interviews, podcasts, recorded material already that is posted onto the Learn site, some infographics, latest studies, reports coming from the companies. So various mediums to deliver our content. Here I have taken the screenshot of the course taught by Professor Amelia Clark. It's a basic concepts of strategic management. You can see that she has pre-recorded her lectures, and she uploads on a weekly basis her lectures. So you don't have to attend the lecture at a given time, that is the ultimate beauty of MEB program, that it's completely asynchronous, and you can go through the lectures and the recorded materials at the time of your convenience. And then we do have the discussion boards, multiple discussion boards. On this page, you can see that Ask the Instructor discussion forum, where if you don't want to send an email, you can just write your question using this Ask the Instructor discussion forum. And most of the times, instructors would reply to that question within 24 hours. The good thing about using this discussion forum is that your peers also can see your question and get benefited from the response of the instructor. So not all the students have to send an email to the instructor regarding the same question. Then there are some course related discussion boards as well, where you can reflect upon the learnings from particular weekly content. So different courses are built differently, but almost all the courses do have a huge discussions component inbuilt in all the courses. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Kamal. I'll take it over from here to talk a little bit about the admissions requirements. So the Master of Environment and Business accepts applicants from a variety of backgrounds. You must have completed a 4-year honors bachelor's degree at a Canadian university or its equivalent, and have a minimum admissions average of 75%. If you're applying with transcripts from a Canadian institution, this average is calculated from your last 2 years of full-time study. And if you're applying with transcripts from outside of Canada, this average is calculated from your overall average. You also have to have at least 3 years of business work experience in a private, public, or nonprofit sector setting, either through full or part-time employment, through documented volunteer efforts, or through corporate work terms as an undergraduate student. We do also consider applications from mature students who don't meet regular academic admission requirements. To be considered as a mature student who doesn't meet the admissions requirements, you must have at least 8 years of management experience and a minimum graduate management admissions test, so a GMAT score of 550, or an equivalent score on the GRE, the graduate record examination. And when you apply, you'll also be required to submit some documentation. So you're required to submit 2 letters of references, preferably one academic and one professional. And note that your references should be using professional or institutional email addresses when completing their references, so that it allows us to easily verify their identity. You will also have to submit a CV or a resume, and you'll also upload a statement of interest where you'll explain a little bit about who you are and why you think you belong in the MEB program. Lastly, all graduate students at the University of Waterloo must meet minimum admission standards and proof of English language proficiency. So if you are an international student, you may need to submit proof of English language proficiency, which I'll talk about in 2 slides. Applying to the University of Waterloo is a completely online process. So you set up your online account with a username and password, and then you can start your application. You select your program of interest and put your personal information and enter the required application information. So it'll include you recording your academic background and giving us information on your referees. At this point, you will need to pay the non-refundable application fee of $150 Canadian per person. And just a note that that fee is per program as well. Your referees will then receive an email from the University of Waterloo with a link to the secure and confidential online reference form as soon as you send in that application fee. 2 email reminders will be sent to your referees prior to the application deadline. And you can actually also go into the application portal and send additional reminder emails if your referee requests them of you. If you're applying to multiple programs and you're using the same referee, just a note that they will have to complete separate reference forms for each application because our references are confidential and not shared between programs. So it's important that if you're asking a referee to submit, that they're aware of that requirement. Once you've submitted that fee, and you can then begin to upload your application documents, and that's through our online application portal. You can also track the status of your application. There's also an application checklist on the portal where you can see the materials you still need to upload. And once you have them all uploaded, and your referees have completed their reference forms, your application is complete, and we can start assessing your application. If you're an international applicant, if you're wondering how the academic requirements translate into your country's grading system, we do have a list of international admissions equivalencies on our website broken down by country and system of study. And this is a helpful guideline. It doesn't guarantee admission, but it helps you see whether or not you meet the minimum admissions requirements. Back to the topic of the English language proficiency, you may have to show proof of English language proficiency, and we have several accepted ELP tests, including the TOEFL, the IELTS, and the university's own EFAS program, which is a pathways program. And just remember that scores are only valid for 2 years from the test date, and we recommend you complete your test at least 2 months before the application deadline in order for us to see those test scores in time. There are exceptions to the English language proficiency requirements. So 2 examples are if you've completed 3 or more years of post-secondary education at a Canadian institution or university, or if you've completed a graduate program at a Canadian university. There are other exceptions as well. They're all listed on our website, and this is one of the web links that I'll include when I send out the webinar recording. Tuition for the MEB program is charged per course, and the value is different based on your residency. You're charged for both tuition and incidental fees. The incidental fees are very low, approximately $50, and that's because this is an online program, so it only covers required student services fees. There are bursaries available to MEB students, the TD Graduate Bursary in Environment. It has an application deadline of February 1st, and it has some eligibility requirements, which I will also be including in the email that I send out. In the past, MEB students have also received financial or time support from their employer. So we've had MEB students in the past who have had their employer allow them to come to the MEB residence on business time, or they have supplemented the tuition fees from the program. And there are also, of course, other means of support, including provincial student loan programs like OSAP and private bank loans. And just a couple tips and tricks for you to keep in mind when you're applying. So we look at your application as a whole, especially for the MEB program, because we're receiving all applications from a unique group of people. And so we don't begin assessing your application until it's completed. And it's important to select your references carefully and select individuals that you know can complete their reference forms within the time frame that you require. And your statement of interest is an opportunity to highlight your achievements and abilities, explain why you want to enroll in MEB and why you feel like you're the best candidate. And just a note that work experience can be a combination of full-time, part-time, volunteer experience. A background in environment and sustainability or business is not necessary. We accept people from a variety of backgrounds. And it's also important to give yourself plenty of time to complete your application. So we recommend at least 4 weeks. This gives you an opportunity for you to complete the statement of interest, get all of your application materials prepared, and it also gives your referees a lot of breathing room in order to get their requirement done as well. So the application deadline is February 1st, but really we recommend at least 4 weeks in order to give you the application the time that it deserves. And lastly, if you have any questions, we have the Grad Seed course email address. And like we mentioned, the MEB program administrator, the role is now vacant and we're looking to fill it quickly, but we're always going to have someone responding to that email address. So, and that will be the email that I'll include in the email that I send you out with the recording. So just note that we're always here and always available to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to hand it over to Kamal for some final thoughts.
Thank you, Christina. To conclude, I will sum up with some of the key points that we have raised in this presentation and to make our point that why we believe that MEB is the best program for you and why you should be joining. So University of Waterloo is an internationally known school with an excellent reputation for high quality education. And we believe that the program we offer really integrates environment and business into each course, not just at the program level, but all the courses are fundamentally designed to integrate the two concepts. This literally sets us apart from other programs and MBAs that do have a sustainability component, but lack the integration part of sustainability and business. We do provide all the courses, the program overall, the current, applied, and like yet graduate level education, what is coming up next in terms of the policies, rules, like legislations, what tools, what new skill set we could offer. It's a flexible online format that allows for job changes, moving, travel, babies, marriage. Yes, life happens, aging parents, etc. It cost approximately $35,000 roughly, versus an executive MBA could cost you more than $100,000. All the professors, all the faculty that are teaching within the program, Master of Environment and Business, are sustainable business researchers and practitioners. And above all, the network of sustainability professionals that you get exposed to is the real value of this program. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That concludes the presentation portion of our webinar today, and we can move on to the questions. I see that there have been some questions sent to us through the Q&A box. Thank you very much. I know Jennifer Doucette has also been writing some answers as well, but I thought we could jump in on some of the questions that are still in the Q&A box. So someone was wondering if all applicants are required to submit a GRE or a GMAT score. No, the only applicants that have to submit a GRE or a GMAT score are those that are looking to go through the mature student application route. Students who meet the other admissions requirements, so that's the honors bachelor's degree with an admissions average of 75% or higher, do not need to submit a GRE or GMAT score. Someone was also looking for additional scholarship opportunities. Because this is a part-time online program and it is really geared towards people who are working, there are not a lot of scholarship opportunities. I did talk about the TD bursary that is available for people. And like I said, they do have some specific eligibility requirements for them. So you would also, you'll see on the website, but you'll also have to show proof of applying to a provincial aid program as well as financial need. But there's also external scholarship opportunities that you can explore. So some employers do give bursaries for people who are hoping to have, who are doing more education. And even just receiving support from your employer in terms of time is also a very valuable opportunity as well. So we will be sending a link about the bursary on the webinar, but other things, I would also encourage you to look externally through your own community to see if there's other opportunities. How similar or different is the MEB program to an MBA with a sustainability track? Kamal, do you think you could maybe take that question, the difference between an MEB and an MBA with a sustainability track?
Yeah, definitely. So, um, as I discussed during the presentation as well, that we did launch our undergrad, master's in bachelor's environment and business in 2001, and the master's program in 2010. We have more than a decade experience of delivering the courses and the knowledge that we are doing through this master in environment and business program. Most of the MBA programs, as I mentioned, are very heavily focused on the business trajectory, even with the sustainability specialization. Sustainability is not integrated in each and every component of that MBA. There could be a few courses that provide you with the specialized degree. But when we say MEB, Masters of Environment and Business, you should think that sustainability and environment are the cornerstones, like the key elements, fundamental units in each and every course of the MEB. So that really distinguishes us from any other MBA program with the sustainability specialization. Thank you.
Amazing. Someone was looking for some information about the current cohort of the MEB program. And Mohammed, I don't know if maybe you would want to jump in and talk a little bit about your classmates, but they were wondering whether or not, the majority of people are people right out of undergrad, somewhere in between, professionals. What was it like meeting your classmates in the residency?
That's a very good question. So I think it's a mix of all of those points. I in my cohort, when we started in fall of 2024, I think there were maybe 4 or 5 undergraduates, new undergrads who completed undergraduation, and then there was a big chunk of professionals who were taking the program as professional growth or their area of interest. And I'm one of those who wanted to get more learning in terms of sustainability. And there were also I think 1 or 2 members, classmates who are on the PhD track, or they're looking towards a PhD in an area. Um, Either sustainability or not, but they wanted to go further their academic journey in that regard. So, and that's what I meant when talked about the diversity. It was, when you're joining a program, um, especially when I joined after a lot of time at work and going back to a graduate program, these questions do come to you, and it was just a pleasant experience to see this diverse cohort that got together. Hope that answered the question.
Definitely. We also had a question about how many students apply versus how many are admitted each year. And we typically have like an MEB cohort of anywhere between, come on, you can correct me if I'm wrong, 15 to 25 individuals, I would say, incoming. And in terms of the number of people that get admitted each year, um, because we have like an admissions package where you have to prove both your academic eligibility as well as your interest in the program. If you put together a strong admissions package and you meet the minimum admissions standard, you have a very good chance of getting an offer to the program. Because once you meet all of those requirements, you're going to be a really good fit. So there are some people that apply that, based on their academic history or based on the components of their application, they're just not strong enough to receive an offer. But I would say that the majority of the people that apply to the program are really interested in the program and have a strong academic and professional background. And we typically have a pretty high offer rate for the program for MEB. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to say, Kamal, about that.
No, you said it all. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect, perfect. And someone was asking what program between a Master's of Environmental Studies and a Master's of Environment and Business would you recommend for someone with academic background in accounting and a professional background in the energy sector? Well, I'm the marketing and recruitment specialist for the entire Faculty of Environment. So I love all of the graduate programs equally, but I really think the Masters of Environment and Business would be most appropriate for you, especially since you're coming in with that managerial level experience. I think you're going to find the cohort in MEB much more appropriate for you. And I feel like what you're going to learn in the MEB is much more applicable to what you're going to be using in the workplace. So again, I'm not biased. I love all the graduate programs equally, but Kamal, do you want to say anything else?
I agree. So well said. That's the fundamental difference between our sustainability management program and the Master of Environment and Business. Especially with your profile coming in with that experience, MEB makes the most sense.
Perfect. We do have a question about how students work together and have opportunities to collaborate outside of the residency. Mohammed, did you want to talk a little bit about how it feels like to be an online student, but like also interacting with some of your classmates?
Mainly around from the online perspective, or
Yes, yeah. After the residency,
oh
how
yeah,
you're
yeah,
connecting with your classmates.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, very good. And I tell you why, because when you go and meet with your cohort in the residency, that's the question in your mind. Okay, we were able to be here if physically and talk to each other in person, but how does that going to work on online? How are we going to set meetings up, and will everybody will be committed to those that work and trust me, it's gone really well. In my case, our cohort made a channel for themselves, a group for themselves right away on Teams, and that's kind of our own internal. I learned this. What can I do for this? And everybody's there pretty much from the whole class. But then, as each course happens and their groups are made, those are done very professionally as well. I think I can say that the way students are committed, they're available, they're done their work. It's just a phenomenal experience. A lot of learning on my side, absolutely, and how this can work for people.
Thank you, Muhammad. And on top of that, we do have an MEB alumni discussion group as well, where all the incoming students also become member immediately when they join our first residency, and that gives a unique opportunity to not only connect with your peers, but also all the alumni, all those people who have graduated in the past 10 to 15 years. So we do have quite a huge alumni group when it comes to the MEB program, around
Mhm.
180 to 200. Like, I think more than that are the number of people who are members of that group.
Yes, and I can say I am a sneaky member of that LinkedIn group because I'm not an MEB alum, but I am on the LinkedIn group, and I can say that it's a great opportunity because people are always posting opportunities, jobs. They're posting different, conferences, and if people are working on a capstone project where they need a survey or they need to talk to different professionals, it's a very well connected group of people. So we have a couple more questions and a couple more minutes left, so it's perfect. Someone asked, does applying to another postgrad program weaken your application or should we choose one? Absolutely not. We don't know how many other applications you've applied to at the University of Waterloo or other institutions. It won't weaken your application. The only advice I would give you is just make sure that your application to the MEB is MEB specific. So don't use the same statement of interest from one program to another, because that will make your interest in the MEB program seem very generic. So that would be my only advice is make sure what you complete for the MEB application is MEB specific. And the same thing for your references. So if a reference is completing, like I mentioned, they have to do it separately. Make sure if they can to make their reference MEB specific. And then someone else wanted to know if you can't find an academic recommendation letter, could two professional ones also count? Yes. So as long as you indicate in your statement of interest why you couldn't locate an academic reference, especially if you've been out of school for a number of years, that's very common in the MEB program, and it's just something that you might want to indicate in your statement of interest. And then we have one question. Can you provide more details on what the capstone project looks like? And we have a couple more minutes. So, Kamal, did you want to talk briefly about the capstone project?
Sure, why not? So the capstone project actually runs through two terms, winter and spring, and its code is NBUS 690 690B. And in that capstone project, you actually get to work on a real world case with an industrial partner, and you get to choose your own topic, you get to choose your own issue or the problem, and then you work through two terms on that issue. At the end of the capstone project in June, every year you get the opportunity to come back to the campus to have that in-person residency experience, as well as to present your case to your peers and the faculty within seed, to let them know what was your problem and how you worked it through with your industrial partner, or like it could be anything actually. And Professor Dan Murray is the one who leads the capstone project, and if need be, we can also share some of the recent examples of the capstone projects that are being done in the previous years at the within the capstone project course. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just did two profile stories of two recent MEB graduates who did capstone projects, one on forest fires and one on healthcare and sustainability. So I'm happy to share those links when I send out the email with the recording for the webinars, just to give you an indication of some of the past projects. Not a problem.
Sounds great.
Um, yeah. All right. And I see that it is now 1 p.m. And so we've reached the end of our webinar time. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of the presenters, Mohammed, Jennifer, and Jennifer in the background, and of course, Kamal, for talking about the MEB program. And hopefully it's given you the information that you require to submit an application. We are always available to answer your questions. And we look forward to looking at your application. We look forward to seeing you in the residency in August, and we will be in touch. So thank you very much and have a great day.